One of the key issues in focus during this year's G20 summit will be the handover of the G20 presidency to India. The country will host the summit in September next year in New Delhi. And our diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, brings you this ground report from Bali, which is all set to host the 2022 G20 summit next week. Take a look.
Bali is getting ready to roll out the red carpet for the leaders of the largest economies as it gets ready to hold the mega G20 summit. While the G20 Bali summit has several issues to discuss, for India it will be a watershed moment given the country will be handed over the presidency of the grouping. September 2023 will be the first time that India will be hosting the G20 summit since the first summit that took place in 2008. Earlier this month, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the logo, theme and website of India's G20 presidency. The logo, which has the colours of the Indian national flag, juxtaposes planet Earth with the lotus, India's national flower.
India's G20 presidency is coming at a time of crisis and chaos in the world. The world is going through the after effects of disruptive, once-in-a-century pandemic, conflicts and lot of economic uncertainty. The symbol of the lotus in the G20 logo is a representation of hope in these times.
India's focus will be on issues like inclusive, equitable and sustainable growth, global food security, climate financing and other related issues. Under Indian presidency, 200 G20 meetings will take place across the country from December of this year. The first meeting will be the Sherpa meeting in Udaipur in the state of Rajasthan. India has invited 9 guest countries which include Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritius, the Netherlands and international organizations such as UN, IMF, World Bank, WHO and WTO will also be present at the summit.
While preparations are underway here in Bali when it comes to the G20 summit, and it's a proud moment for the island of the gods, it's the work that goes behind making these summits logistically successful is something that is usually not talked about. Hundreds of police personnel, security personnel, journalists, the delegation of the incoming leaders will be present and are already present in Bali and making sure that there is no problem, there is easy facilitation. This is a major challenge when it comes to hosting such large summits like the G20 summit.
India already has set up a G20 Secretariat under the Ministry of External Affairs, which has over 40 officials. The Secretariat will be headed by India's Sherpa Amitabh Kant. The G20 Chief Coordinator Harshvardhan Shringla and G20 Special Operations led by Muktesh Pardeshi. India is currently part of the G20 Troika consisting of current, previous and incoming G20 presidencies, that is Indonesia, Italy and India. The Troika is part of a G20 governance structure. During the Indian presidency, India, Indonesia and Brazil would form the Troika. This would be the first time when the Troika would consist of 3 developing countries and emerging economies.
India takes over presidency from 1st of December this year from Indonesia. It takes over presidency even as global challenges like the COVID crisis, Russia-Ukraine conflict, recessionary worries and Taliban in Afghanistan remain a concern and a challenge. India will be using this occasion to project its rise and coming of age at the global stage. With video journalist Ajit, Siddhant Sibal for WION in Bali, Indonesia.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.